I got nothing.
It's Good to Be King by Tom Petty.
Okay. I know the song. I hear it now.
Yeah.
My brain just doesn't.
I don't know how you would set your brain to listening in order to kind of be able to scan through everything, because you know all of these songs. To scan, well, not all of them, but to scan through everything and be able to identify it. I'm not playing it usually in the rhythm that it is. Sure. So I guess that's why it's so awesome when you do know it.
Mm-hmm. My bad.
Well, at least it's not Led Zeppelin, right?
Don't get me started.
Tom Petty, It's Good to Be King.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Great Measures. My name is Richard. This is Judson.
Great Measures.
It's been a long time since we've done a System of a Down song.
That's a long time. Has it?
It's been a while.
I sure do like that band.
Well, we're going to do a System of a Down song today.
Awesome.
Called Soldier Side.
Like sidearm?
S-I-D-E. Soldier Side.
Like his sidearm?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay. Like his side, like, oh, my side hurts. I'm a soldier.
Can we listen to this song?
I'm a soldier and my side hurts. System of a Down was like, we can make a song out of that.
All right. All right, this is Soldier Side by System of a Down.
I'm excited. I like this band a lot.
I know you do. You'll probably like this song too.
You think so? Don't speak. I mean,
One of my favorites of theirs.
I'm going to not like it on purpose. I'm going to take the other side of the coin on this one.
You go ahead.
Just for
I'd
fun.
like to see you try.
Okay. Proceed, Richard.
Dead men lying on the
This is your favorite System of a Down song?
Not my favorite, but it's one of my favorites.
Why?
I can't pinpoint it. It's a fun one to play on guitar.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
I think that's probably why.
That's pretty. You can just play that over and over and over and over.
Yeah. I think that's probably the main reason. Which so many of their songs are fun to play on the guitar, but this one in particular stands out.
This is one of their more tame songs.
Yeah, it's the
that I've heard.
Yeah, it's the closing track to the Hypnotize album from '05. And it almost has, and I don't say this to diminish it at all, but it almost has that sense of like, we got to get one more song in real quick, and kind of.
I can see what you mean.
And it's, I could be completely wrong. This song could have been written early on in the process, but it's a little more cut and dry. It doesn't have some of the craziness that a lot of what they do does. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they were just like, get another one. But then again, it can have something to do. I mean, the lyrical content is if you just take it at face value, you're just talking about soldiers going off to war.
Yeah, and that time at 2005.
Yeah, we were at war.
Yeah, and
we're still at war, but
yeah, and I think this song hit me when this album came out because of that time. I'm 19 at that time, and we're in this war that seems, or multiple wars, I guess, that seem endless. And is there going to be a draft? And it hit a little bit harder because I was that age where people my age and a year younger were getting shipped off to die. Not that I'm taking a political stance or anything, but that was the reality of that time. It still is. I mean, not to the extent that it was, but
you're too old to be in a draft now, Richard.
God, I hope so. I wouldn't last 10 minutes.
Sounds like a funeral song or something,
It's fitting.
But they do that. I love how all their chord changes and the little like the stuff going on in the background that just sounds like, to me it sounds like the whole middle Eastern European, Middle Eastern sound. I love that stuff. It sounds so cool when you're playing heavier music.
Yeah.
And then their harmonies. You just cannot beat it.
No.
And they don't just do it every now and then. They do it throughout. And that's so awesome to me. And I just love the whole formula of the I'm not trying to it's hard to speak about something and use one grouping of words to describe an ancient sound, that's been around for longer than this country has even been that's not even in the conversation. They sound like they are drawing from ancient sources, ancient generational depth is what they sound like they're drawing from when they write music. And that is not easy to do in a 4-minute song. Even if you do it a million times, and you're and with their sound like they're these just religious, spiritual, ancient that you hear in a cave. If you were in some archaeological dig, you'd hear their two voices going, "Oh, come this way," or whatever. Or if you're reading some ancient script on a stone wall, that would be their music would be the background music to it. It's like it has this narrative quality, and it just has this somebody standing there in the desert in a big, linen robe or something, telling you about the history of these two battles when they had swords that went like half, semicircles, and horses and tobacco smells and smoke. You know what I'm saying? And wind blowing through, and just ancient incense burning spirits. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. Well said.
And I'm such a sucker for harmony. If you can sing, if you can, there's obviously times where things need to be sang. Celine, just let Celine sing.
Let her do her thing.
Just let her do her thing by herself. If she wants to put some harmony on herself, let her. But I mean, when your voices match so well like theirs do.
Right.
And you can find and that's why I'm drawn to bluegrass music so much. And you could make an argument that bluegrass music with mandolin and banjo and those types of stringed instruments, they come from over over there. And when I say over there, you jump over Europe and you get in, Russia and Eastern Europe and Middle Eastern countries and Arabia and stuff. And that's why I like harmony so much, I think, is because bluegrass music, and I used to work on harmonies a lot with my brother, because you hear brother harmony and it kind of feels, it melds together a little better. But then you have to make sure that you get all your breathing and your syllables right to where you're hitting the words together. You want to be one unit, and they just do it.
Yeah.
And all of their tones, like wherever the bass is and wherever the guitars are, wherever they're singing, even, he's doing a lot on guitar behind when it comes to the quiet parts and the drums have gone out and they're singing. The guitars are probably an octave above where they're singing, and they're doing stuff, but it doesn't get in the way.
No.
They create this, it's almost minimal, but put together, and there's a lot going on, but not really, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, they create a lot of good space, but then you really give it a listen and you can hear that there's more going on, I guess that's why I was a little bit, not bored by this song, but just because of what I know from them before, they're a lot more dynamic. But this is straight up their thing. Their formula, and
it's theirs, and it's theirs alone.
Yeah.
That's what I think I appreciate about them the most. It's like they get, maybe justifiably so, maybe unjustifiably so, but they get lumped into the nu metal category sometimes. And
why?
But because of when it came out, when they hit the scene, I think it was that time and that era, and. I'm not saying they're nu metal by any means. I say maybe justifiably so because of the time. And it's not. I like to call them alternative metal, just because it's such a blanket way of describing it, but it doesn't do it any justice.
No.
Just because I can't put the nu metal.
That's offensive, dude.
Yeah, but it's just
offensive.
It's just the era. They get. I'm not saying that that's what they're classified as. I'm just saying that because of when it came out, because of the Limp Bizkits and the Korns and the Linkin Parks and all of those bands were dominating that scene and the quote unquote metal world, even the radio world. They were dominating all that. And System of a Down hits the scene, and they have, distorted guitars and whatever.
Yeah, you can't come up with other characteristics that actually fit.
And I think that you can't, maybe the one class or the one quality that separates them from the nu metal stuff is because System of a Down was so politically driven. A vast majority of their lyrical content is political stances and political subjects, maybe not even stances, but political subject matter. You know, I don't know if it's Armenian music that's coming out, but they
gotta be. I'm not familiar with Armenian music, but where it's situated in the world.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Armenian music at all, but it's got to be some of those influences.
Yes,
out there.
no doubt. That's why I think that stuff is so mystical, and that music, you know,
and to
Middle Eastern music and Eastern European music.
And mix it with metal the way they do it, and they do it so well. I mean, I'm with you. The harmonies that they have and the ability to harmonize so well together. I mean, it's like they were both put on this earth
to sing together. Reason. Yeah. And I mean, I put them. I have a list of. I mean, I wouldn't go on the list and necessarily go through it right now, but there are bands that I run into that I think you cannot classify them. They created their own room. Mm-hmm. Rage Against the Machine they are only Rage Against the Machine. You can't compare anybody to them and say, you know, the music like Rage Against the Machine does, and no, they did that. It's kind of weird they're politically driven too. I wonder if we looked into politically driven bands, we find that. But System of a Down is the same way. You cannot say, you know, they sound kind of like System of a Down and this and this and this. No. They either sound like System of a Down or they don't. And that's it. You can sound like System of a Down, but System of a Down does not sound like anything else.
That's true.
And I think there are bands that come out and do that. And I love it. I mean, I think Rage Against the Machine is the one that comes to mind the most to me. That's just that. And it's so weird how those bands that tend to be so finely, I don't know, like such an anomaly in the whole program of music, you know, the whole thing. When I say program, I mean the simulation program in this reality that we have, that they're these little anomalies that pop up in music, and that they're so finite and they can't get along. And they put out a few albums and then they can't get along and they're done.
This is it. I mean, they 2020, 2021, they released a couple of singles for like a fundraiser or something, but this was the last full-length thing they did, 2005, 20 years ago.
Yeah. And everybody,
it's heartbreaking.
And if they got together and did a tour, they've
played some festivals recently, and, you know, I'm sure one of the main reasons for those festivals selling out is because...
Yeah, I read somewhere though that the lead singer guy, what's his name again?
Serge,
right, said that I think I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I think I'm done with it.
And it's fine, like that's your prerogative, that's your freedom to do that, but my God.
Come on, figure out a way to get along. Like, I mean, Rage Against the Machine has said once again, they're done. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
And then, you know,
and they had a tour. They were getting ready to do another thing.
Yeah, you never know what's true and what's not. You know, without getting too political here, a lot of metal publications are left leaning.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of whatever. They're left leaning, and some of their opinion pieces, like I saw a couple weeks ago, the drummer for System of a Down, and I'm blanking on his name, made a comment, because he's of the 4 members of System of a Down, I think he's the one that's caused the most rift. I mean, not that he's caused it, but he's the core of their differences, because he's more conservative, right-leaning. where the rest of the band, from what I understand, is not. I certainly don't want to speak for them or their political opinions or stances, but let me say that. But like, he comes out and he makes a comment a couple weeks ago on a podcast or something about, in support of Donald Trump. And these op-ed style articles come out from these metal publications, and they're just like ripping him to shreds, calling him a moron and whatever else because he said something in support of Donald Trump. Which, whatever, I don't care. That's, people have their opinions and whatever. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter what I think. But it's like, I read that kind of stuff, and I'm like, man, just, you're stoking the flame, which may be a non-existent flame, in the midst of the band. There may be no tension there. It may just be Serge is like, you know what, it doesn't really interest me anymore.
Yeah.
But you got these metal publications that come out and they magnify it and they publicize it, and like I said, that from what I know of the metal world, the majority of them are left-leaning, whether that's the fan bases, whether that's artists or whatever. So that, when these metal publications publicize things like that, it plays into that narrative. And I mean, there are, like, I'll go and, on that particular article, I read the comments, and it's split 50-50, like 50% are saying, you know what, that's his opinion. He can have that opinion. Like, you don't have to call him a moron over it. But then, the other 50 are in support of the publication, but it's also the publication's opinion and right to say he's a moron. Mm-hmm. And it's like, we're already in a politically charged time because our current leader of the free world, for whatever reason, is a divisive figure. Whether he means to be or not. He could have the intentions of being the most unifying person on the planet if he, if that's the case. But because of differences, he's seen as a divisive figure. And again, like, I don't even know where I'm going with this, other than it's a little bit ironic to me that they're a politically charged band and politically driven band from a lyrical standpoint, and seemingly, not that this is reality, but seemingly on the surface, and if metal publications have anything to say about it, that's a big part of why they're not.
If you focus on delivering a political message, then you run.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Then you run the risk of that's a heated conversation.
Yeah.
And let me just say, I don't give a shit about your politics.
Yeah. Me either.
I don't care. No. I don't play that game. Mm-mm. I'm neither one. I don't.
Yep.
Keep it. And I listen to Rage Against the Machine and System of a Down. I think they're great. And I can see the there's a different, it's not like they're standing up there saying we're Democrats or we're Republicans, right, or we're socialists or we're whatever. And so you can take the meaning of their songs as being a vehicle and a mindset and a philosophy to try to adapt for change, mm-hmm, or for rebellion, which I'm all about.
Fight the man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Rage Against the Machine. System of it. I mean, like, that's how I take it. I never take it as a I don't back use it for political, but I can see where, like, to your point, I think I'm agreeing that if that's going on, then you run the risk of there being a political division within the mindset.
Yeah, and in defense of the metal publication, even though I hate that they publish something like that, by God, it worked because I clicked on it and read the comments.
Sure. Sure. And I mean, but again, we don't know. Rage Against the Machine has to know. System of a Down has to know that from a business musical standpoint, they could clean up. Mm-hmm. They would destroy the world.
Yeah.
And I would go
Yeah.
if I could.
Yeah.
And to either one, and you know, it might just be they creatively just don't want to do it anymore.
I mean, if System of a Down were to 2 months from now announce a new album that's coming out in August, the money they would make on that alone would be unbelievable. But then you tour on a new album and you play the hits with your new songs.
They destroy everything.
Their grandchildren's grandchildren would be set.
They destroy everything.
If we're just talking about it from a financial standpoint.
Yeah.
And I'm not, you know, obviously they don't care. They don't.
Right.
So I'm speaking from my poor ass standpoint.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, like
it's got to be something else, and it's probably just I don't know. Like I said, I can't imagine what it would be like to fit into a category where you are at the top of the game that you created. Mm-hmm. You know, I always just think about it, and I keep bringing up Rage Against the Machine because I literally see them as the same. They've been able to pull off the same great thing in musically, straight up. I don't care about your politics in a sense. I like that you are, you know, you want to go against something with, and because it's a powerful vehicle and a powerful thing, you know, to get to put, and then also just for it to be good music.
Yeah.
But I wonder if you get in that position because I mean, have you seen crowds at a Rage Against the Machine show? Mm-hmm. It is not. It is rowdy. Mm-hmm. A thing happens.
Yeah.
They are a living, huge organism moving together. Mm-hmm. When they play Bulls on Parade, they are bulls on parades out there. And every other song, you know, I mean, it's like this organism just going off, you know, and they cause that to happen. Mm-hmm. And you would think with that in your hand, you know, like to be able to know that every time you play, you are changing the scope of the energy in this geographical region. Mm-hmm. And then them say, not whatever the thing is, if it's a rift or it's an argument or something, they can at some point go, look, I mean, set off a bomb of awareness and music, or us not be able to get over this little thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I wonder if you have that, if you've been in that position before, it might not be that big a deal to you to say, you know, I disagree. I don't want to do that. I mean, you know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying? Like they've been on the top of the mountain, or so to speak. Like, and if your consciousness must change in some way to where you don't then, maybe you get to a point where you don't have to, these people are somewhat enlightened, I would think, you know, that they don't have to then pander to that to say, you know what I mean? Like they're looking for something else. And if you've already had that and you've seen that meaning and you've seen that thing that you've done to people and you're still on that journey, then maybe that's not as, you've done that. Mm-hmm. You did that already.
Sure.
I don't know. That whole thing intrigues me. This whole conversation intrigues me about people that put out art and they have so much that they put behind it and then they turn away from it as being, I mean, they're still probably doing it in other ways. They're still living their lives, but it just intrigues. That's a story I want to know more about on a personal level. Like why System of a Down, you know, just because I'm curious.
Yeah, I equate it to, and you know, most people probably don't care about this reference, but like I'm a big football fan, and I look at somebody like a Barry Sanders who just woke up one morning essentially, you know, seemingly, and was like, I'm done.
Could be the greatest thing ever.
Am the greatest thing ever.
I'm
at the peak.
Could still be probably playing games right now based on how he was.
Could have broken every single rushing record that's ever been set. And he was just like, you know what, I'm done. Like, this doesn't interest me anymore.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of look at System of a Down. Like they come out with Toxicity in 2001, and it just sets the world on fire. I mean, it's Rick Rubin produced, and you know, I mean, all these massive hits of Chop Suey and the title track and Aerials, and I mean, every song, even songs like Prison Song and Deer Dance, like those songs are incredible. And then they dropped this 2005 double album, Hypnotize and Mesmerize, and it does the same exact thing. Like they just set the world on fire, massive hits, and then they're just like,
later. Yeah, I think
we did it.
That could be an element of their greatness.
Yeah.
You know, that could be one of the inputs of the algorithm that to fit in this category of people that we're talking about, you have to let it go too.
Yeah.
Once you've done it, you did it, and then there it is. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't either. Let us know what you think.
It's like Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix died, but was here didn't put out that much music, and people are still bowing down.
Sure.
So it might be that kind of thing that you have to. I don't know. System of a Down. Let us know. Give us a shout, and let's talk about it.
Yeah.
We don't have, we'll just talk, just us. And I just want to know something small. Like, why don't you play in just let's have a little small conversation. No big deal. Yeah, no big deal. Just why did you stop playing music? And I won't tell the rest of the world about it. But I love your music.
Yeah, you do. I do too. Kind of sad.
I'm upset about it.
Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. We are Great Measures. My name is Richard. This is Judson.
Great Measures.
That was Soldier Side by System of a Down. Have a wonderful day, everybody.